Today is 960th day that I'm here to lessons I learn. I'm learning. I hope this will support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today we speak about practice, about practicing the skill. I think that this is a topic that we need to always develop and really remember, because practice and developing a skill is one of the essential things of life. Because if you want to become the best version of you, if you want to achieve your vision, you constantly would need to practice, you constantly need to become better. And that's why we always need to, okay, what is the fundamentals? What are the fundamentals of practice? What do you need to focus on to make sure that you're able to achieve the best results? Because some people practice all their life, but they not get as good as other people who are very intentional. Intentionality is sometimes the shortcut to really get better results. Because you potentially could do the same exercise, almost exactly the same exercise as professionals, but professionals are professionals because they focus intentionally on developing their skill set for a reason. So having that reason is very, very important. So today we'll focus on 10 aspects of practice that could make that practice better. So number one, set clear goals. Define what you really want. Now people say, oh, just focus on the process is great. Focusing on the process is great, but you still need to have goal. What kind of process you will attach to the goal? So you have a goal, and then really focus on what kind of process you will need to do to achieve that goal. Because if you just focus on the process, you are not able to be fully engaged in pursuing, because you don't pursue that. You don't push yourself as hard. Because you know the goal, you will push much, much harder because you know that this is the goal. It doesn't matter sometimes if you achieve it. Sometimes it's better to have a massive goal and smaller goals. So it means you don't get disappointed if you don't achieve the small goal, because you're looking to the big goal. So it could be shorter or faster. It depends on every single time. So having that massive goal and break it down to smaller goals and really work very hard to achieve those clear goals really allow you to practice better because you push yourself harder. Number two is create practice schedule. That means we need to understand that when do you practice? Because when we have that, okay, I will practice tomorrow, and we do not know at what time, specifically what time you will practice, a lot of times it just goes away. Okay, today I was not able to make it, I will make it tomorrow. I will make it tomorrow. But you know exactly block time every single day that this is my practice time. It's impossible to really miss that because you dedicate specific time to practice. And when I think about really practice, the more important part is that consistency is much more important than duration of your practice. Consistency is much more important than duration of your practice. So that is, if you practice once a week, 7 hours, will not give you the benefit that you exercise 7 days a week, 1 hour every day. Number three is focus onto fundamentals. So what is the basic thing? So like we understand that 20% of the skill could potentially give you 80% of results. 20% of the skill could give you 80% of results. So what are those fundamentals that could really allow you to get the most of the results? So Pareto rule, I truly believe it, and that works in any practice as well. What are those 20% that give me 80% of the results? And really avoiding to rush into those complex advanced techniques, because of course it's nice to have those advanced techniques, but if you do not master the basics, don't go to advanced yet. Focus on the fundamentals and then transfer to those other areas that you're able to develop. Number four is use deliberate practice. So that means that you need to practice with intent. What are intent of this week? What are intent of this day? What I'm trying to achieve? Because when you think about skill set, it could be that there is a lot of aspects about your skill set that you need to develop. And what kind of areas do you want to focus today? Because there's basketball, is like so many details. Soccer, so many details. Sales skill, so many details that you're able to develop at the same time. So you're not able to focus on all the things at the same time. So focus on small things. So have intent. So focusing on improving specific aspects of the skill set. And of course, we need to seek some kind of feedback, look into, okay, fix it, correct it, mistakes immediately. Number five is employ varied techniques. That means that you're able to really find different ways how you develop the same skill. Because sometimes we get used to, get comfortable in doing one way. Okay, so we need to stretch ourselves. Find a way that we could practice the same skill in a different way. It's very important to see that, okay, I want the same skill, but I want to develop that differently. So what kind of ways I could do that? What could I look into multiple angles, different angles to really develop the same skill set? Number 6 is track your progress. This is, again, what is not measured doesn't get improved. What is not measured doesn't get improved. So tracking progress is essential in anything in life, because you need to have the score so you can keep a journal. You can see, noting improvements, note everything what's going on, just to make sure that you're able to see, okay, that's where I used to be. Because sometimes when you develop some kind of skill sets and we get to another level, those improvements are also minimal that it could be that you're not able to see. But when you start journaling, when you start to say, write things down, you start to see, oh, I'm improving. Even though that it's slow, I'm improving. And that progress and being able to see the progress gives you energy to really work very hard to develop even harder and even more. Number 7 is seek feedback. So we need to understand that we ask feedback from peers, instructors, mentors, coaches, just to make sure that we're able to develop. Because one of the best shortcuts in life to develop the skill set is asking people who has that skill set. And of course, when you think about constructive criticism, is one of the best things that for you, because you're able to say, okay, maybe that's just something that I need to improve. Maybe I need to work on that. And when you're able to really take that positively, that criticism, and you're not afraid of it, you're able to improve much, much, much faster. Number 8 is stay motivated, disciplined, and patient. That means that we need to celebrate small successes, because when you celebrate small successes, you're able to really be motivated. Because people have that massive goal and they're just not able to achieve that massive goal in a month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe a year. And they do not celebrate their small successes and they quit because they don't have energy and motivation to pursue that anymore. So having that massive goal and break it down into very small goals, and now you're able to celebrate every single small achievement, that increases your motivation. Because this is a small win, and you just build those small wins into energy build, and you're able to use to really to move forward. And understanding that mastery takes time, mastery takes persistence, and mastery takes understanding that we need to have a mindset until. Or saying that I'm not there yet, but I will work until I will achieve this goal, until I will build this skill set. Number 9 is use technology and resources. That means when I think about practice, that means that a lot of times technology is changing, things are changing. So we're able to utilize resources to make sure that we're able to find a way, different resources, do additional guidance to make sure that we're able to develop the skill set even better. Because we're able to ask, what kind of resources I could potentially do? What other people, what kind of resources do they use? What other sports, what other skill sets, what kind of tools do they use? Maybe I'm able to transfer some other tools, some other resources, technology from other place to my developing the skill set. And number 10, last one, in very, very important as well, is reflect and adjust. Reflect and adjust. That means that we always develop and we're supposed to reflect on consistent basis. Okay, how I'm developing, how much I have improved. That's why it's very important to track yourself and measure yourself very often, that you could reflect. Because if you don't measure, it's very hard to reflect and adjust. So, okay, I don't improve as much as I would love to. Okay, what am I able to pivot? What am I able to shift? What am I able to adjust? Just to make sure that I'm able to get better results. So we need to regularly assess our progress and really make necessary adjustments, necessary changes, that we could really develop the skill set, develop the practice to develop the skill set. Because practice will develop the skill set. And I think that when we think about practice, might be even more than those 10, but those are the foundational 10 things. And when we have those in place, we're able to develop skills. And then people say, okay, how you develop this skill set so fast? How you develop this knowledge so fast? Because I was intentional about building the practice that allows me to develop it much, much faster. I think that that's why people say that, like, why they achieve so much more than the other person? Because they were intentional. They were intentional about developing things. because every single person has 24 hours. But what we do with those 24 hours is really makes a difference, because some people are much more productive. They're able to do with the same hour much more. And knowing how to practice will allow you to maximize that hour and really make that 1 hour as 10 hours in other people's lives. So I hope that you reflect on the things that you want to develop, because every single person needs to practice on a consistent basis. What kind of things you practicing on? And if you say that I don't practice anything, that means that's maybe the number one thing is find a way how to practice self-awareness, to understand what your strengths are, and choose anything, but practice at least something. Develop at least one skill set every single day that you could become the person that you want to become. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.